What's good, y'all? This is Krill from Out the Box. I'm back for another review video. Today, I want to talk about the new album from Cordae entitled From a Bird's Eye View. It was released, I want to say, not last Friday, but the Friday before that. It's about 14 tracks, 41 minutes long in terms of the duration of the album. Right off the bat, I just want to say, I didn't really know too much about Cordae until like last year. You know, I definitely had heard his name circulating, but it wasn't until like I heard the record he did with Nas, and there was another record he did, I believe, that I was checking for. I was like, oh, this sounds dope. So when this album came out, I was like, you know what? Let me go check it out. Let me see what it's about. I have to say off the bat, when I listen to Cordae, in the short time that I've become aware of his music, he reminds me of J. Cole a lot in terms of, you know, what his sound kind of represents. Now, that doesn't mean he's the same as J. Cole. He definitely has his own unique voice, right? But in terms of like some of the subject matter and just the style of his music and the vibe of his music is very similar to what I get from J. Cole. Also, he's like a bridge between, if I had to think of like some OG artists, I would say a bridge between like Nas and Common in terms of what I'm getting as well. But yeah, man, let's get into this album From a Bird's Eye View. Like I said, it's about 14 tracks. I'm not gonna go through every track, but I'm just talking about the tracks that really stood out for me. One of the tracks that really stood out for me is the first track, Jean Michael, where it starts off like very, actually it's not the first track, it's the first song. It starts off very smooth and intriguing. Cordae kind of just like goes to work in this manner of like addressing. It's like his addressing to the people on this particular track. And it makes sense because it's the first song that you hear on the album. The other track that really stood out for me is Mama's Hood. It has a very smooth, like almost like a West Coast vibe, reminiscent of like tracks I've heard from Tupac. And I just really like the vibe on that record. You know, he speaks about, you know, just coming up in the hood, dealing with the struggles that come up, you know, that happen in the hood, from the violence in the streets to him, you know, choosing to leave college and really pursuing his career. And the song is also dedicated to a good friend of his that passed away as well. So it's kind of an accumulation of those subjects, but I really like it. It has a really nice vibe to it, and it's more of like a reflective record, you know, going like he's like, I'm riding through my mama's hood, you know, like going back and just reflecting on what the hood brings, right? All the from the pain to where he's gotten himself to coming up out of that now, you know what I mean? And just reflecting on childhood memories. Then the next track that also really stood out for me is Want From Me, which is sort of like a soulful, really old school soul kind of vibe, right? And there's some aspects of relationship on there, but I like it because you get to hear Cordae singing a bit on there. And that track actually is produced by Jake One. I didn't think, like, I wouldn't have thought that, right? But after seeing that he has the production credit on it, I was like, it makes sense because Jake One's, you know, done albums with Mayor Hawthorne under the group Tuxedo. So the soul is definitely there. Then the next track I liked was C. Carter, where he's really talking about his dreams to make it. He talks about wanting to always get a Dodge Charger car. So that was also dope to see. The Sinister track with Lil Wayne is also dope too. It's really like, I like the beat on that. It's real hard, edgy. I think Hit Boy did that beat, and it actually makes a lot of sense from what I've been learning from Hit Boy with the Nas collabos lately. Then the other track that I really like was Chronicles featuring Her and Lil Durk. I really like the vocals on there. You know, Cordae does a wonderful job singing there, and then Her comes in and does her thing as usual with the vocals, and Lil Durk has a nice feature on there as well. So it was good to get that. That's more like I would say that's the real relationship record on the album. It's sort of like a dedication to a relationship. And that track, I believe, is produced by Boy Wonder, but it's the R&B record on there, and I love it. It sounds really dope. Then we got the track Westlake High, which is another favorite of mine's. It's a very soulful track as well. The song is reflective. It's about, you know, him talking about where he's come from to realizing how far he's made it, you know, being able to record with Nas, always wanting to have this Range Rover, you know, so it's really dope. I like that record as well. I really like the R&B vibe of it, you know what I mean? Kid Culture is a producer that you see show up a number of times on this album. He produced that track, Westlake High, and he also produced the track before, Champagne Glasses, featuring Freddie Gibbs and Stevie Wonder, which I did also want to mention. That was also a nice track. I think you get to hear Stevie, sounds like he's playing the harmonica at the end where the track changes up. So that was pretty dope to hear. Yeah, man, I mean, this is a dope album. Like I said, it's 14 tracks. The tracks that I named were my standout tracks, but I feel like if you listen to it, you might have some other tracks that you really like. But I think in all of listening to this album, I feel like it really embodies like this feeling of hip hop soul, right? And Cordae really, to me, stays true to himself. Like, he's not trying to be anything other than himself on this record. Like, you see different sides of him on this album, but overall, you can tell that this is a brother who is intelligent. He's trying his best to make it, but he has this duality of, you know, just being this brother that's coming from the hood, trying his best to make it, trying to be the best man he could be, but also understanding, you know, his shortcomings. So I like that he's so real on this album. And yeah, man, go check it out. It's called From a Bird's Eye View. It is Cordae's new album. It's available on digital streaming platforms right now. Very solid release. I think it's one of the better releases that released so far this year. And I mean, I look forward to see how this album does in the months to come. But I wanted to do this review because immediately I felt like it was a dope project. So, yo, remember to subscribe to the channel. I'll try to do more reviews, so keep a lookout. All right, y'all have a good one. Take it easy. Peace, love, and light. Take it easy.